The woman who made Napoleon kneel, Napoleon, the Emperor of France, the King of Italy, was one of those who lost himself in the charm of a woman. After years of spreading fear throughout Europe, the Emperor of France and King of Italy, Napoleon Bonaparte, breathed his last whispering the name of a peasant girl, Josephine. They say there's a woman who makes every man kneel, and it was true for Napoleon too. He fell in love with a peasant girl, the emperor did. Hitler's Eva, Einstein's Mileva. Many commanders, many emperors fought great wars for the sake of love. History not only wrote the victories of these unforgettable names, but also narrated their love stories. One of those women who made the man she loved her slave was Napoleon's passionate love, Josephine. Josephine was the pampered daughter of a French peasant family. Her behavior and lifestyle were not suitable for a peasant family. She was a rebellious character, fond of dance, entertainment, and parties, yet quite cunning. The women of the time even envied Josephine's attire. Josephine, who believed that she deserved a life fit for queens, married Viscount Alexander Beauharnais at the age of 17 and had 2 children with him. The peasant girl who lost everything along with her husband during the French Revolution. So, her dreams of becoming a respected queen were shattered. The poor girl from the peasant family never missed any of the balls held at that time, walking proudly in her beautiful clothes. Josephine, who met Napoleon at a ball in France, was fascinated by the emperor's power and intelligence, and practically fell in love at first sight. And the same was true for Napoleon. Napoleon didn't care that the charming woman before him was a widow with children and 5 years older than him. He was spellbound by Josephine. Throughout the ball, Josephine couldn't hide her admiration while listening to Napoleon's military achievements. After that day, Josephine and Napoleon met repeatedly. It was not appropriate for a great emperor to be with a widow with children who was 5 years older than him, but nothing could stop or hinder his love for her. Napoleon's poetry must have also influenced Josephine because, without caring about anyone, they married in 1796. When they married, Napoleon was 27 and Josephine was 33 years old. Although Josephine was not a woman from a noble family, Napoleon illegally declared her empress. Once again, the peasant girl Josephine found her way. Now she was an empress. She had achieved the life she thought she deserved. At first, they had a beautiful relationship. It was a mutual love. Josephine must have lost her enthusiasm after a while because she began to alienate Napoleon with her actions. Emperor Napoleon went to war with his army to expand his country's territories. Of course, when he left, he had no idea what his wife was up to. Napoleon, who wrote love letters every day, started receiving cold letters in return and was gradually drifting away from his wife. Meanwhile, Josephine belittled Napoleon, who brought countries to their knees, and made his life miserable. Josephine had practically tied the emperor to herself, and she was making him suffer. Moreover, while Napoleon was conquering countries, she was organizing parties and balls, enjoying herself at home. Days passed, but Napoleon couldn't hear from Josephine. Ugly rumors began to bother the emperor. Napoleon didn't want to die without leaving a male heir to the throne, but he and Josephine had no children during their 13 years of marriage. Napoleon, burning with love pain, had to think about the future of his country. It was imperative to have a male child. At the age of 40, Napoleon wasted no time and decided to marry someone from a royal family and have a child. And eventually, he decided to part ways with Josephine. All that remained from those beautiful love letters was anger, hatred, and love pain. Napoleon would no longer say beautiful things about the woman he loved in his last letters. After returning from the war, Napoleon wanted to divorce his one true love, Josephine. The rumors that arose from these dissatisfactions, the correspondence between the two, the mutual infidelities, put an end to the love story of Napoleon and Josephine. Napoleon no longer wanted Josephine, who had been playing with him. She had not been able to make him happy or give him a male child. Napoleon's definite decision to part ways was a complete disaster for Josephine. Josephine was shocked when Napoleon made this decision. She never expected this man, who looked at her with love, to say such a thing. Josephine never believed he would leave her. When she first heard the news, she fell ill and couldn't recover for a while. Napoleon, who made great sacrifices for his great love, no longer wanted her as his wife. This was the greatest blow Josephine had ever received throughout her life. The passionate love had literally left her flat on her face. Later, Napoleon merged his life with Archduchess Marie-Louise of Austria. Although their turbulent love story officially ended due to Napoleon's desire for a child, Josephine remained Empress Josephine for France. This situation never changed for Napoleon. Although he had achieved his desire for a male heir, the heartache of love remained with him forever. His last words before dying were these words that described his life: France, the army and Josephine.